Right. Fambulem, we are live. And when I say live, I mean by every stretch of the um, determination, explanation, definition of the word live, we are live. Because if you're watching this, which means that you're live, you've got life in you. That's why you're watching this. And the person where the live stream this is also equally live. It's got life in him, which is me. And that's why we are streaming this live. But on a more serious note, Fambulem, today on the 21st of October 2023. And the time on my side is 11:30. 11:30? Let me just check the time because the time seems for the flip-flop on my side. But yes, I do agree. It's 11:30. And at 10 o'clock, which means that 1 hour, 30 minutes ago, we should have aired it. But of course, there's much involved. Sometimes I can one forget fumble and forget involved in waiting involved. Like for example, and I get information in which somebody want for part with information to me via online, and sometimes they want for let you go where they are. For things happen, for let you go to where they are for go get the information. And if the information is relevant to which you want to talk about, then that's exactly what the point is. Then you got to go to that place there and get all that information, which means that your scheduled program will run late. But on a more important note, what's important is I am live. And once more today on the 21st of October, it's a Saturday, 2023, and the time on my side is 11:30. It might be 10:30 at Sierra Leone, but of course we should have been live like an hour and 30 minutes ago. So I should apologize for that. But like I say again, better late than never. So family, and this is the TNM TV Media Empire. My name is Prince Emil Cromer. And I want for the help for shame because I want to talk about the dialogue, pre-dialogue, and during the dialogue and post-dialogue briefly because we already don't run late. But one rub more on that. So they want to help with for shape this year. Don't touch that dial. Just a quick disclosure. I own no copyright to the song while I play. It's a Sierra Leonean song. It's famous. And the name of the guy is famous. It's a brilliant song and it's relevant to the conversation we want to forget briefly. Hence why I play them. But we derive no profit from them financially or in any other way. But yes, it's a Sierra Leonean song and I'm proud to play it with no profit whatsoever. So I own no copyrights. Why we never use I'm glad and enjoy this time. I love know they finish. Time me on the with nobody. Now why the time for always get down and 7 day and night. This one will be up and we step now nobody young. You wanna get rich you must wake up down your bed I lie you young. The balance for your good I left the all the money young. So why you find it you said very more to come you let fire. If you see if I know so you go let dealer. Amen. When you talk woman where you let piano. And if you let me man na forgive. All right, Fambule, once more, many thanks for the TNN TV Media Empire program. Today, now the 21st is a Saturday, and we've been don't start this program about an hour and 30 minutes ago. Well, of course, we got caught up and I provided the excuse earlier, but better late than never. So it's going to be a very short program, but we get massive programs that where they come on our way. And there is it's going to be a full package. Not to the package then where we try for fill up because of excuses of space and time. So this is not just a quick one for catch up on the outcome of a dialogue. And waiting on the dialogue came about as a consequence of election irregularities as contested by the main opposition party. And it looked like, say, there was some credibility to that because remember, say, the All People's Congress, the APC, also get followers. So then followers and they then follow within and party say there were question marks about the just concluded elections in June, which is about 3 months ago. And so therefore the country came to a standstill, to a stalemate. We proud to have been one of the few outlets we first of all talk about or use the word stalemate and impasse and etc. Most people not be agree. Well, say most, it depends on who, but some people will not be agree with we. But with time, we now know say we were correct. And we not been doubt we self at any point in time for no say the country been there in crisis. The country was in a stalemate. There was an impasse because we had a multi-tier elections. I don't know how much I need for stress that. on multi-tier elections. And that multi-tier election say, or it mean the outcome has to be multi-tier driven. So if you get 10 party participate per a multi-tier democratic elections, it has to reflect the people that will participate there, not only a one-sided view, because that raises questions as to how come 10 people and partake on this, even though there are losers and winners, but it's like saying that one side of the story no more, na we dairy. So not for waste time on this formula is after a while, we do know say the country being get this impasse or this standstill because some people not agree. In this case, the Sierra Leonean People's Party, we allegedly win the elections because I use the word allegedly, it was contested, the election results, by the opposition All People's Congress. Okay, it's not two people and get a feud. But when two people and get a feud, we tend for one for take with time for understand where is this feud coming from? Why is there a feud? So I want to give one example before I come back to Usawide. And it's so relevant in the now, which is, for example, Israel and Palestine are battling it out. They are battling it out. And while the conflict is so relevant as to the conversation today, but it is equally very graphic, much to the disturbing nature for most people we can't even afford for watch exactly waiting to play out. But my point where I try for make is like you've got people who say the Israelis are right. You get people that will say that the other side, which is Palestine, Gaza, and Hamas, at least they have some right because the conversation is nuanced, not to just bits and pieces or sound bite. Like say, now yesterday, now all of this begin. Then we will be doing ourselves injustice. But not that I want to talk about today. I want to talk about our own conflict where we at least been getting our country, if we can say that, because we begin for see shadows we cast upon this entire conversation for sure say it might look like or it does look like issues of the past. So the problem here is we had problem with elections. The government said they win an elections. The man we mandated for declaring the election results declare say the government, the incumbency, win the elections. The opposition, as usual, because this is a ritual, and when I say as usual, not only to the opposition today, because those that are in power today, once upon a time, were in opposition some time ago. And when elections were held, they self-deny say they not lose the elections. So that's what I mean by a ritual. But anyway, we talk about today. So today, the SLPP government is in power. The SLPP conducted an elections which was held on the 24th of June 2023. Okay, so that election day, the opposition, the main opposition party, contest the election results and say, no, we not agree because we believe that we win, despite all waiting on us say. So it became a back and forth, scarce. And as a consequence of this, we've been careful call other people in from the outside. We get interest now in country for can talk about why people are contesting the results of the elections where we just hold us alone. Yes, there were some merits in that contest in that contestation day. In other words, this contest where the opposition party contests the elections results, then we look at merit for them. Why I say so? This is not on the basis of being biased or one-sided or belonging. Of course not. Why? Because the people and we also get stake at the progress of with democracy, the enhancement of with democracy. They also say that there are bones of contention in we just concluded elections. they not agree with the results where the government put out. They say, but no, but this not correct. We not just agree with that. And since then, there's been confusion in our country, and this is waiting precipitate the outcome of waiting me being called. And I know say a lot of people not being agree, but a lot of people don't come for agree now. Say there was a stalemate. Okay, there was a stalemate, a difference in agreement. Say, but we not agree with you. The other one say, no, we need to move forward. So because of that, from the time when the election finished, there's been this argument back and forth between the All People's Congress and the SLPP government. SLPP say, I win. APC say, if you say you win, we need for contest. I mean, we are contesting the basis on which you say you win. The SLPP say, well, if you say I no win, the procedure where you need for apply now for go na the Supreme Court or the judiciary system and use that system for contest, say there is something wrong, there is an anomaly, there is an abnormality, but the APC decide not for use that forum there. And then give the reason why I say because we not trust una, because now una they in charge of the judiciary. But yes, while that sound a plausible story, a good story, but eventually what it actually happen is if you they contest something, you need for go through that position there using the country's judiciary system. In other words, the laws, putting the laws to test because the laws can be faulty. They can be. That's a fact. So put the laws to test and see whether they will stand the test of times. APC did not do that and decide, say, well, we will continue for contest the election results on the basis, say, we, the All People's Congress, say, we not agree with the elections results. Eventually, outsider they may therefore come and can prevail by the elections results, including the observer mission, which are the United Nations, the European Union, the Irish Aid, the African Union, the AU, and the ECOWAS, and the European Union, EU, of course, and the Commonwealth, and few other organizations. We witness we elections. So obviously, the opposition party, the All People's Congress, been depend on these people, including the new organizations. I mean, organizations. Pardon me for adding an S. Headed by Marcella Sambasisi, who's gone a little bit quiet, not intentionally, I believe, because after the election, the situation was so toxic. And I want to believe say Marcella Sambasisi was advised, if not advised, but it be absolutely necessary that she leaves the scene because she was not seen as an independent broker at the time. And I'm not saying that she wasn't independent. Yeah, that's for other people and for George. But what me know is like she was a participant of that entire ceremony day. She headed an organization, and the objective of the organization, the strategy, the goal of the organization was exactly what she was doing. So when we come to the outcome of the entire process or the electioneering process, Marcella Samba, of course, her view was very material to that outcome day, and she stated what she observed, what she saw. And I make the word observer been very important. Even after Marcella don't fade out of the scene, or in organization NEW, National Elections Watch, had faded away from the scene, we continue for C, we continue for Yeri. Things them were not being palatable for we democracy. And we continue for hope. But then there was this huge division between the two sides, the All People's Congress and the Sierra Leone People's Party. The People's Party was the incumbent, and the All People's Congress, the APC, was the opposition. Okay, like I say, I can normally take my time, for delve deep into this, but I wouldn't for tonight because we get short time. Remember, we don't run over an hour and 30 minutes late. And Fambule, please, I've got, apart from waiting at a do so as a presenter, I've also got a job which now be daily living, which pays the mortgage or rent for people and put food on the table for a family. I do have a family. So yes, I've got an obligation to that. So tomorrow or Sunday, I have to go to my job and go do my job. And but I'm equally proud of waiting at the do so. And I know say a lot of people do appreciate that. And we're not going anywhere. We continue for there. Me, Sekou John, Psycho John, and others, we continue for there for produce reports for the Sierra Leonean people so that they were able to make up their minds in between. Anyway, the All People's Congress challenged the result. They said, no, we not agree. This result here, now Didiba result. So therefore, we challenge. Pardon me. Okay, pardon me. So therefore, we challenge them. So then challenge the results. And the results, we then challenge, it may get merit because other people then decide, say, we will listen to the results where you the challenge. And that results, it go far. Because why again? Not so we no more responsible for with democracy. We got other people and where they help with for strengthening democratization, development, infrastructural building, and making sure that we emerge from this process, not only this process, but others, as a strong country, so that we will continue to make gains for we people. A lot of people not be happy about the outcome. One of them again was the All People's Congress. So the All People's Congress table a motion, make an argument, and other people listen. And since then, there has been an argument in the point we may call a stalemate. Because, of course, I mean, some people not be agree, say, na stalemate. Apparently, the word was too strong for them. Some people not be agree, say, there was an impasse. Apparently, the word was too strong for them. But today, as we speak, I feel vindicated because that's exactly what happened. The idea here is a lot of people not agree, especially the opposition side of things, not agree with the outcome of the election results as pronounced by the Elections Commissioner Mohamed Kone. So what eventually happened is the APC decide for pursue that in a different form, where I believe they can for affect them. Because, and I said this, I am on record for saying this. I'm not saying this now because we have a taste, a feel of the outcome, but because we knew or anticipated what the outcome will be if XYZ is not done. Me advice, I did say, if the APC not go to the judiciary, to the court system for contest an election, which is the court of the land, then obviously that will be an error, but I do understand why they wouldn't. But within the same vein, I did advise that that would be a great option for go there and go complain and try for prove a point. In other words, if you don't complain and you don't get the redress where you seek, then of course you can put that back on media and expose that this is it. On this day, on this time, on this basis, I went to this commission, this body, this whatever it is called, for make a complaint against XYZ on the basis of so. But the outcome, as was anticipated, if you like, you can pull that out. If you like, of course, you just forget that because it's on the record anyway. We did not get waiting we desire. But of course, waiting you desire is completely different, but from waiting supposed to be the natural outcome. The natural outcome will be if you lodge a complaint and then look into the law regarding your complaint, people were designated for make a decision on that basis. They go make the decision and say, well, you know what, you your case not get married, or your case get married, but because of XYZ, this is it, or because of XYZ, we uphold the complaint we lodge. But no, the APC did not go through that platform. They decided not to go to the court. People like us, and like I say again, one of these days, I will replay videos. It's not only one, videos in which I say, I believe, because even if I get issue with the person where they go complain to, but if the person at the authority, me personally would like for expose that person, they say, well, you know what, this person at the authority on this particular issue, but I go complain to them, they did not even listen to me. And I bring that record they forward, and that record they go form part of the record where they go forward. We go prompt a decision by most likely a higher body, a higher court, or even beyond that jurisdiction day. But none of this was done. APC say we wouldn't go to court because we don't trust the court. Yes, we understand why you don't trust the court, but you need for go prove your point again to that court, say this is exactly why we not trust you. So that was never taken to the court. However, after all said and done, there was this disagreement because waiting Sierra Leone hold on the 24th rather, of June 2023 was a multi-tier elections, which means that there were other people, there were other parties involved, which gave the entire exercise a process which we could refer to as democracy. So if it was a democratic process, and this is what I believe say, the incumbent, Marabio, the SLPP party, suffered from. And why they mean for listening? Because remember, say, there were rabid supporters of the ruling government. We were filling those spaces. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that. The law say, now UDA elected. You can't just pluck somebody from oblivion, from nowhere, and just take them and fill in slots that you want to. No, there's a process. This is government, this is democracy, this is an election, these are rules, these are laws, and this is exactly what happen. Okay? Anyway, make a fast forward, and because this is not something where we get for do again deeply, and probably we go do a call-in program in which we go ask Sierra Leoneans them waiting and think about the outcome of this process, what they call the dialogue. A dialogue, because remember I said this is a major process, but we seem for the arrival conclusion. But I want for the Salon people and know say the conclusion is not here yet. And I repeat, the conclusion of the concluded dialogue, I think about 3 days, it's not over yet, because contrary to the view of many, the president, of course, not everybody decide for call him president. I mean, you can decide to, want to call him president, but he is the president of the republic. He's doing business with the same international community. There are questions about legitimacy about the current presidency, but for goodness sake, he is the president, His Excellency. Okay. So the agreement recently reached is pending the signature of the presidency. So in other words, the parties them involved, X and Y, the APC, the SLPP, and all the others, according to waiting they make we for understand, they not agree, say, well, here is waiting we agree on. Well, where they not agree, remember, there was a party of the ruling party. When I say a party, I mean a delegation delegated for go handle that process day, headed by the chief minister, the young and dynamic David Moina Senge. Okay? Na in the president trust, na in the government of the republic trust. And I try for use my words carefully, because me they try for unite all sides and let all sides understand, say, yes, you get issues to a point where you know want for call the government the government of the day, or the president of the day. But what I want to let you think of is, in the absence of this, there will be chaos. So there has to be a body which is carrying out the mandate of the republic through the laws of the country, which makes the country peaceful, which makes the country require or interpreted or looked at as a country of law. Because also Barbarian and Dede, there's a rule of law. Now I make you not see everybody they go at each other, despite the toxic situation where we find ourselves in. That's exactly what the problem is. Yes, you can decide, say, well, I don't recognize this man as president. That's your habeas corpus. That's your right under the Constitution. I don't agree. That's not your view. And if it could be a minority view, it doesn't really matter. That's not your view. However, the president delegate a delegation delegating, appropriating this task to the minister of the chief of all the minister, them, David Moyna saying now you go ahead this. Now let me make one point quickly before I move to the other. And some of us did not understood this. In other words, whilst this conversation, this dialogue, it been serious enough, very, very serious. But waiting happen is some people feel say, well, the president for the day. Again, not because they overlook the presidency. The presidency is the overall authority in the country. This is quite a huge position. It's a big, big position. And we don't even go the extra mile because it's an executive position in which the president, if he sleep and grab and say, that person that see in my dream and not like the idea, I want to let it disappear, you will disappear. Of course, I just draw an analogy on the powerfulness of the executive office of the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. That's the point I'm trying to make. And people are still not trying to recognize that. So there was a delegation. The president don't need for Dede. The president get the affairs of state for run. The president, I repeat, has the affairs of state for run. So you're not able for the go yonder, or you're not necessarily get for the part of that talk day. Maybe if the talk be stretched, there will have come a point in which then, on the basis of level, the president will need to be there. But not even ambassadors like how we can let for look, the US ambassador, as powerful as he or she is, and not powerful more than the president of the republic. And when the ambassador they come, then they bring the credential for come present to the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone, where the foreign ministry cannot facilitate, and then go meet the president. When they go meet the president, this is the presentation ceremony, and the president will decide, say, well, I appreciate and I recognize your accreditation. So therefore, I accept them. You are now a guest of this, a guest. The president can decide for refuse that. He is wholesomely within his right. Although he will therefore explain to we, on why he refused the accreditation of an ambassador. So ambassador can present the credential. The president approve of the credential, and then we give the ambassador a status of a friend of the country representing another country inside we country. Or the president can decide, say, no, I don't agree. And in fact, I'm not on a friendly basis with you. I don't appreciate, neither do I uphold your credential. I regret and refuse your credential. And that ambassador is persona non grata because they've not been accepted by the presidency. Not because of the country side come out. We know, say, practically speaking, the country side come out, you are powerful enough. Let's say you come out from the United Kingdom, depending on the country where you deal with, because the United Kingdom is reduced to almost nothing on the world stage, a country or a kingdom that commanded about a quarter of the world over 100 years ago. Today, they are nothing. So, in terms of my country, Usami Common Sierra Leone, of course, they are a big deal. They are a big deal. But there are bigger countries in the world that move on from unipolarity to multipolarity. So, it's a completely different thing. Yes, the United States continue to wage huge influence, but there are many countries that are emerging. So this world order, not world law, or in terms of international law, but international world order, as order is having an impact on the world today, and it's been challenged. And there are imaginations, okay, and make them completely different. But this is a topic for another day. But what will you talk about now? And I want to end this program, and let's just go straight into it. So Dr. Samora Kamara was the APC aide man, and I'll be the APC leader, and the APC take to the last general elections. So when the APC contest the election results, he's been at the forefront, at the vanguard of the struggle, the contention, and the dialogue, if you will like. Dialogue means me and somebody we get opposing view, but we need for table a motion or agree on something because we need for move forward. And by the way, Fambulem, this is my winner t-shirt, because in this dialogue, I believe say the outcome, the winners of this particular outcome is the Sierra Leonean people, hence the W, winner. So this is a win-win situation for the Sierra Leonean people. We can't afford to drag this any further, but quickly I can to that. So Dr. Samoa Kamara was in conversation with the president and the rest of the SLPP party because they were elected despite the contention of the results. And because of that contention of that results, it resulted into a dialogue because somebody say, bruh, this the way you tell me, so I not agree. I really not agree. Well, okay, bruh, if you not agree, well, na so the thing look like. Well, no, I really not agree. But on the state of nationhood is so serious because this has the potential for spill out of whatever the situation is, and it becomes a little bit messier. And because we get other people and we get stakeholding now we country and situation, then decide for can join and say, you know what, we go try for broker peace because we don't need for go down that line day. Family owner don't see, and this is exactly what happened. So they can broker the peace. Before the peace, we see the bone of contention, and this was fearful. If some of you not catch that, other people then they will catch that. The idea that the government was having a public spat with the international community, i.e., in this case, the representative of the United States of America, the most powerful country, contestable now, but is still the most powerful country on earth. That in itself was telling and full for a Lily country. There was $400 million at stake through the MCC compact. And because, again, the government of Sierra Leone not be able to meet the criteria, the credential, the prerequisite of waiting for you able for bag that 400, because there are a list of things that you need for reach. The election result was damning. And I have no doubt in my mind that part of the referenda where they reach between themselves in terms of taking the country further, strengthening democracy, increasing infrastructural development, increasing we people them the opportunity where we people them deserve, providing jobs, infrastructural development, good pay, and amenities made available for we people them. part of them, I believe, saying that the $400. This $400 million, I say $400, I'm sorry, $400 million, it's not gone away. It's always there for nations, but there are conditions for letting you become a candidate for win this 400 million. Prior to the elections, of course, there were bones of contention, but the country largely, when they performed and they try to live up to waiting the international community when they ask for strengthening of democracy, they attempt for make a peaceful outcome of with deliberation them. These are all important. Accountability process, the process of transparency, the process of equal opportunity, the process of equal law, or the rule of law under with democracy. These were all very important, and these are some of the things that these compact conditions call for. But because of what may happen, we miss out. That don't mean say it's gone away from us. It means say we can forge a union provided that we agree for the greater betterment of the country, because 400 million will take us a long way. So let's put our differences aside, but let's be real to we people. For improve the lives of we people, improve opportunities, job opportunities, health opportunities, education opportunities, road opportunities. In other words, develop the infrastructure we will make the country continue for development. So, despite the difference between the two parties and the APC contest, they seem to come to an agreement finally, pending the signature of the president. The president can come back and say, well, then they won't agree on so now. Well, me, I don't agree with section 4 or chapter 3 or section 5. I don't agree with that. The president could say that because they've drafted the document. This is how important the presidency is, despite some of us trying to overlook it. And only because Mother Bio is the occupant, we fail for no say there's an office called the presidency, and it comes with maximum respect and responsibility. Regardless of the occupant, you might have views of the occupant, but the occupant is the occupant because the office defines them, and they have to act in consonance with that office, the diktat of that office, which puts them in a special pedestal. Famulem, if you don't understand what I mean. So having said this, the APC, of course, was on a lose-lose trajectory. But of course, some APC people are not going like that. But of course, that's what they were going into. The presidency itself getting a weak point, and they were getting weaker. But on the local front, the presidency was in charge. They had the Ministry of Interior. They've got the Ministry of Finance. They've got the Ministry or the Bank of Sierra Leone. They've got the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So, in other words, they were or are in charge. They are the government, despite your thoughts. How do we break this impasse was also critical. And this is where the APC became pathetic, because despite what some were telling their supporters, it was a completely different scenario because the country needs to move forward. Family, we're not going to disagree with this. The country needs to move forward. Whether you're not APC, because this is the issue, whether you're not APC, I'm sure if you get love and feeling, compassion for your fellow in your country, say the country for move forward. I understand the difficulty because you agree, say, well, no, we not lost the elections. But the election losses one be implies say you're gonna court and go make your case despite the outcome of the court. But you go there first. I remember say I talked this several times. I understand say the court has not been fair to you throughout the stay of the government in power. But for prove them wrong, And the only redress where you they look for at this point in time for taken to an higher authority, especially outside, now for test your own domestic system. Even though you suspect, say, they will foul you. But take unto them and go prove them. Say, this is exactly what I was saying. And I'm not going to waste my time on this because I said it many a times. So anyway, in the end, the country has to move forward. So the parties came together and form and decide for going to dialogue. Dialogue means like a mediation process because there's an impasse, there's a standstill, and that has to be broken. Other than that, the country will continue for suffer. Other than that, $400 million where the country is supposed to benefit from will not come to the benefit of the country. And I shall say, by the way, outside of which they talk, this is true that that will have been used between the two parties then. Say, but look, fellow, we get this $400 million when you wait for we. Let we just agree because that's what we need. And let we 400 million, we go help with people them. And out of that 400 million, we self go get Lily team. 150 million go to APC, 100 million go to SLPP, and 250 million, which is a significant money, we put them into infrastructural development for we country, at least with people and realize something. But the people that we get the 400 million, this is not a condition. The impasse has to be broken. There has to be an agreement. So anyway, there came an agreement. Let tell you now what I not agree with in these agreements. There are a few things. First of all, I not believe say now within the last 2, 3, 4 days, now in and draft out an agreement which is as huge as waiting with the sea. I don't agree at all. And what they try for say is, then been on the, of course, the conditionalities been on the on go, and now then decide say this is the way we're gonna go. So they been on the draft this a long time ago, not a day before yesterday, last week, then decide for the draft. No, that's not the way dialogues work, and especially a framework will have been created. And we hear rumors. Samora been to see the president. I don't have a problem with Samora seeing the president. I wasn't privy to that conversation if Samora been to see the president, and not even the question say Samora not see the president. Why not? It's an ongoing conversation. The two big men them will hold the country at that time, one in government, one in opposition. Why they wouldn't see themselves in private? When I want to let them publicize everything when they do in public? No. So yes, they were seeing themselves in private. Waiting and discuss in private, that's what I don't know. I can anticipate and speculate and hypothesize for all I can, but I don't know. But the point here is that agreement they have been on the reach lily to this point in the last 2, 3 days when they finally come to with the people. Now here is what I disagree with. I interview on this platform, the TNN, the Then and Now TV Media Empire platform, a lot of we stakeholders them, but largely all people, Congress people them who are really friendly to this platform. The SLPP government see this platform as anti-them, which is not true, but just on the basis say we are critical on this platform, but we entertain every shape, form of view, and will defend the government when necessary to, and will defend the opposition when necessary to. But we have been really critical of the government. So the government naturally sees us as somebody we opposed to them. So we are not friends. That's how they see it. I do know people in government. I have friends in the opposition. I mean, in the ruling government, and what have you. Oh, I do. I really do. And sometimes we talk about these things on a personal level. I'm a very outgoing person. I'm social, and sometimes we meet out there. Sometimes it's on a middle level, sometimes on a higher level, but we do meet all the time. Well, yes, I'm critical of government. And why? Because this is the natural position that a journalist, a presenter, a blogger will have to take. And another say a blogger cannot take a position in which they are favorable to the government. The decision is on the basis of waiting that individual decide for do. What I've decided on doing, and I pride myself in doing, is hold the government into account by asking the necessary questions, which makes me feel vindicated all of the time. And Fambulen, by the way, I am on several, media platforms. Prominent among them is Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. Let me see if I can find the Twitter. And then on YouTube as well. Please subscribe to the YouTube platform. I mean, we've got a global audience, a global followership, but it not reflect in waiting we do. In other words, people like can watch. For example, we might have 1,000 people, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 people who eventually will watch this program. But in terms of liking the program, which is just clicking on the like button, or you don't necessarily have to click on the like. You can click on the unlike button, which is you don't like the program. So it's a thumbs down. If you like, a thumbs up. This creates the algorithm that when it is processed, the likeness can make we able to forget powerful people for can watch the program and participate in the program because they know say thousands of Sierra Leoneans are watching this program. I'm not saying that you can't oppose to me. I look forward to this. I look for people who are diametrically opposed to me. I've been saying this for the better part of 6 years. Not come you oppose to me and you go back suffer. Of course, we don't suffer a lot. But again, we need to bring this program to an end. So we get this dialogue eventually. And I've been trying to talk about the things they want to like. Some of the things they want to like, there are very few, which is, from my understanding of investigations and interviewing prominent people and with stakeholders them, my understanding, and it did make quite sense. Although I understand the bottom line, which I won't go into. But here is it. There was an elections. The opposition party lost the elections. The opposition party contest the elections results and made it a big issue, and necessarily so. Well, here is the point. When I ask questions to the people that have been interviewing, both publicly and me conversations them privately, my understanding is, waiting, Prince, people kind of think like this is between the APC and SLPP, even though I know this is the truth. But they give me the impression that this is not the case. In other words, this is between the SLPP stroke power stroke the government versus the people. What does this mean? It means, say, this election results where people in the contest say are not correct. The All People's Congress are saying that they are representing the position of the electorate. That makes complete sense to me, and I agree with that, even though I know that there is a selfish motive, but let's shelve that selfish motive for a bit of time. But that's the claim. They represent the electorates because we feel the electorates have been cheated. And especially when the international community begin to say, the results of the elections, I quote, does not reflect the views of the electorates, the voters, unquote. So the All People's Congress capitalized on that as well. So when they go into contest with the government and begin to contest the result there, they say, rightfully so, that we need to do this on we own. We are doing it in behalf or representing the people of Sierra Leone. So even in the case, if we were to be called, it will be referred to as the people of Sierra Leone versus the SLPP or PAOPA or the government of Sierra Leone, because that's the way APC decide for portray themselves, which was half-heartedly. But let's assume theoretically, let's hypothesize for a minute, say this was the case. So if this was the case, why then they did not come back to the Sierra Leonean people for can consult with them or ask them blessing, say, well, we've done this, and this is what we have arrived at, and we have agreed. But before going public, can we get your blessing for, say, we can't go any further? In other words, consultation with the Sierra Leonean people where the APCC them represent. Was this done? The answer is, in my opinion, no. There is no evidence of that in terms of the results reflecting the outcome of this meeting. No, there wasn't. The other side I not agree with is with the chief minister, a young man that I admire, who I believe say is doing great work, and if given the opportunity will do even more. He sort of trivialized this huge issue and make them personal. I mean, I can understand the personal side of things, but then for put them in the foray, in the center of the outcome, even though that could have had an impact psychologically, emotionally on the players, I disagree that okay, Zamora is his in-law to some respect, because Dr. Samora's wife is a relative of his. Remember, say when they talk about a national issue, a pedestal above the trivial with tribal connections, then personal connections. I am not waving away the personal connections because we can use that for achieve a desired outcome. So I'm not playing that down. But the way it was used and boasted about that the opposition leader, Nami Kumane, Nami Demia, a wife, Nami auntie. So therefore, this connection is there, which is good. But this connection which is there, which triggered or helped to shape this outcome, which is a good thing by itself, do we put this above the national outcome, how it's supposed to be? How many compromises, how many times Dr. Samora meet with Dr. David Senge, or vice versa, he meets with Dr. Samora? How many times they had a conversation which was relevant, but in which way? I mean, the conversation or the outcome has to be nuanced, more nuanced than waiting with the jury. But of course, with the understand, say, there was the personal side to it. So these are my takes, here from it. But finally, I want to bring this program to an end. And I thank you for listening. Personally, I am exceptionally sort of thankful. I will forget my Twitter account. And just on a personal appeal, family, I am on Twitter. Yeah. So when I can follow me on Twitter, I've got some interesting, your interesting views. And my views is not only related, here to the domestic, to Sierra Leonean issues. I am equally international. Geopolitics. I love it, and I like for intimidate me views, and not intimate. I mean intimate me views, make me views, kind of known, arguably enough. But I'm well informed, and I think say my resume speaks a lot to what they talk about. But on the outcome of this entire dialogue, I am extremely happy that there is a positive outcome to this few days dialogue. We don't hold the country spellbound for almost 3 months since elections. Elections were in June, the end part of June, and we are now in October. But of course, a lot of things that the people agree on is pending the signature of the president. Okay, I agree to all of this, and we will go forward. But I'm extremely happy that there seem for be a breakthrough. And this breakthrough now I'm extremely happy about because the country need for move forward. There is no reason for begin for stall. Probably the APC need for reform, but that now the APC then your own business down. And all I will say to the APC is please don't let your personal stuff stray into the national stuff. Separate your personal stuff with the people that you're having a personal issue with, because I know there's going to be a lot of it. We have to remember that this current executive of the APC were delegated for go stand elections by Judge Adrian Fisher. Now that elections is over, and these are some of the things that have been looked at, say definitely there is an ongoing process and there will be an outcome, because the idea, knowing prior to elections what the SLPP power did, that now Dr. Samora still get case now the court. He's not been dragged to the court. That did not become an issue during this period of months. And even when they draft the communique pending the signature of the president, it seemed like it was about their own skin. It's not about the Sierra Leonean people, not about the people that were killed in Pandemba Road, which they made a much hoo-ha about. Not about the people that were killed in Makeni, young people. Not about the people that were killed elsewhere in the country, whether on Mile 91, whether on Tombo, whether on Lonsa. No, it wasn't. In the end, it boiled down to their own scheme. Because if you watch the draft, it was about themselves, their court cases, their corruption cases, keeping their loot, and what have you. And this is why Sierra Leonean people need to be really, really careful. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've said enough. There is much more to come. On behalf of the TNN TV media empire, I'm Prince Emil Koma, and all good things must come to an end. When they come back to Una this Sunday, so Una watch out on which we want to talk about. We might release them at about 12 o'clock afternoon lunchtime today, which is a Sunday. Okay, but until then, I've been your humble host and presenter, Prince Emil Krumah. I say goodbye for now. Thank you so much. Respect.